A warm welcome to all of our guests this evening. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. Good evening. A warm welcome to all of our guests. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. A warm welcome to all of our guests this evening. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. Good evening. Please take your seats. The program is about to begin. And now a word from our presenting sponsor, Constellation.
At Constellation, our purpose is accelerating the transition to a carbon-free future. What makes this company great isn't just what we do every day. You know, we're the nation's leading clean energy producer. We produce more clean energy than our next two largest competitors combined. We're far cleaner as a fleet than anyone else. And in terms of our customer-facing business, boy, we offer a great many solutions. And we could look down at our feet and think about where we stand in this kind of amazing place we are. But what's amazing about the folks in this company is their ability not to look down, but to look up with their eyes on the horizon, trying to figure out where we go next. It's a company that has an enormous strength in terms of learning, but its greatest quality may be its own humility, its ability to understand its place in the world. We could be rightfully proud of everything we've accomplished. But what makes us special isn't it the pride necessarily in just what we do, but what we will do together with our customers. When we talk about the race being on to solve the climate crisis, it's a race that, you know, it almost implies something that is optional to win, but we all understand it's not optional. You know, we are going to solve this problem for the country. We're going to lead the world in the solutions. We're going to help bring our customers along and also learn from them on how they want to achieve sustainability on their own. Serving millions of families and businesses around the country with clean and sustainable products is something that we will look back on and say, we did that. We were part of that transformation. We shine the light for others to follow.
Welcome to the Magnificent Mile Association's annual meeting. Now, please welcome the chair of the Magnificent Mile Association, Dan Russell, Co-Chief Operating Officer, City Experiences.
All right, thank you. Did you guys like that little move there? Okay, well, let me repeat. Welcome to the 2023 annual meeting for the Magnificent Mile Association. We really appreciate everybody being here tonight. We have some very encouraging updates on our status as an organization, our partnerships with the city and state, but first, I'd like to officially call this meeting to order. First order of business is a huge shout out. I don't see him, Peter Simoncelli, wherever you are, your entire staff here at this magnificent hotel. Thank you, as always, for hosting us on this very special evening. There he is, right over there. Thanks also to Kim Hutto and the team at Encore for providing this amazing AV solutions and put the spotlight on our key messages today. The Ritz-Carlton and Encore are joined by many of our members today. So many of our members stepped up in a big way for today's event, and we thank them for their support. To our presenting sponsors, Constellation, who you just heard from, Time Zone 1, who you will hear from, and my good friends over at Shoreline Sightseeing. Thank you so much for your presenting sponsorship. To our premium sponsors, their logos are up there. We really appreciate all of your partnership and sponsor this stellar group of members listed behind me and in front of me, right here on the screen. And of course, our premier sponsors also on here. You can see we've got a lot of sponsors. This is a very popular event, and we really appreciate all of the partnership. Last but not least, and you will get a good taste of this literally as we leave here, to Bravo, to my friends over at City Cruises, there they are, Eli's, the Ritz, and Woodwind. Thank you so much for your sponsorship that we're going to enjoy afterwards. We are very honored tonight to have an impressive slate of key city and state and international leaders attending today, including 42nd Ward Alderman Reilly. Thank you for being here, Alderman. 2nd Ward Alderman Hopkins. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. You're going to hear from them. Cook County Board President, I don't know if she's here, Tony Preckwinkle, if she's arrived yet. Just got here. There she is. Great to see you, man. Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul, who we're going to hear from very soon. Thank you, sir, very much for being here. And on behalf of State Senator Robert Peters, we welcome Kayla Posley and Rachel Johnson. Thank you so much for being here. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our global partners and dignitaries. Mexican Ambassador and Consul General Torres, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Japanese Consul General Tajima, thank you so much for being here. Honorary Swedish Consul General Karin Abercrombie, thank you for being here. Royal Danish Consular and Officer Brigitte Normal, thank you so much for being here tonight. French Consul General Yannick Tagand, thank you for being here. And finally, Ontario Agent General Earl Provost. Appreciate all of you being here tonight. As you can see, our partnerships are instrumental to our success. We could not achieve our many accomplishments without all of your support, so thank you. I would now like to invite Alderman Reilly of the 42nd Ward to share a few remarks. Alderman.
Thank you and good evening. I have a little bit more hair on my face than I do in the picture there. A little less hair on the head. Thank you for having me here tonight. I know that Alderman Hopkins and I are very excited about the coming year. Obviously, a lot of changes going on at City Hall. We saw what happened in the first round of the election. We know we'll be getting a brand new mayor. It's just a matter of which one and what kind of mayor we're going to get. But regardless of who wins that election, and I think I know who's going to win, we have a lot of work to do. The last 4 years have been brutal for the city of Chicago. Many of those things outside of our control, the pandemic for sure, the civil unrest that occurred and the looting and rioting that destroyed our city. We have a lot of recovery to do here, and I think with new leadership at City Hall and in the mayor's office, we're going to be able to tackle these challenges together. What I'm hearing from the candidates for mayor is encouraging. They want to have a working collaborative partnership with their allies in the city council, and I think that's really important, and unfortunately something that was missing these last 4 years. When the city council and the executive branch have an adversarial relationship, that doesn't work for anyone, especially taxpayers. I think people want to see more cooperation, less vitriol, less rhetoric, less ideology, and really focus on fixing the big problems that we have to address. The retail vacancies that exist on the Avenue and in the Loop are unacceptable. We need to turn the needle on that, and I know that this organization is doing a lot of hard work on the creative side to help us reimagine the Mag Mile. This is our most important retail corridor by a lot, and we need to get it back to where it was. So working with you all and your planning committee, I think that we're going to make some really meaningful improvements here to the Avenue that will draw more and more visitors as we're starting to stand up our convention and tourism activities. So I think working together with Alderman Hopkins, we're going to make great strides, and we can't do that work without all of you. Thank you all for supporting the Mag Mile Association, and critical partner for us downtown. So I look forward to working with you this year. Congratulations on all of your accomplishments this year, and I wish you very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alderman Reilly, for all of your support and partnership. We greatly appreciate it. Now we'd like to invite Alderman Hopkins from the 2nd Ward to come up and make some remarks. Alderman?
Thank you so much, Dan. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Peter Simoncelli, for your outstanding job hosting, as always. And as my colleague, Alderman Reilly, just mentioned, yes, this year will be a momentous change. We're getting a new mayor, but we are not getting a new alderman. In fact, we're getting more of the same old alderman. And I'm excited about that. I have shared this job with my colleague, Alderman Reilly, for 8 years now. And when I say you're getting more of the same alderman, in my case, it's literally true. I'm getting more of Streeterville thanks to the redistricting and drawing the new borders. And that's important for one reason. I can tell you that Alderman Reilly did not wish to give up any of the territory that he has so capably represented since 2007. He had to. And the reason he had to is because the entire decade was characterized by people voting with their feet and deciding that downtown Chicago was the place they wanted to live. Condos were built. People moved in, for sale signs went up, brokers did well. For a decade, we saw significant transformation in the downtown area. This was a destination. For the past 4 years, not so much. It can be that again. It will be that again. I predict that the year 2023 is going to be the year we turn this back around. We return the Mag Mile to the magnificence that is synonymous with its name. In fact, when I look back on the 8 years that I've been alderman right now, each year as the calendar pages flip, it's kind of bookended for me by 2 events that happen to be the same type of event, a parade. right? There's a parade in March, which Alderman Reilly and I participate in, and then there's another parade, and you know the one I'm referring to at the end of the year, the Lights Festival, that we also march in. So in those two bookends, when you think about the changes that we're going to affect in this coming year, some of them may not be so profound. It may be as simple as the asphalt that we're going to pave on Michigan Avenue, or the sidewalks we're going to fix, the newsstand on Chicago and Michigan we're going to reactivate, the trash cans we're finally going to replace. All these kinds of things are relatively minor, but they're symbolic of the bigger picture, the transformative change that we are on the cusp of right now. If you Google 3 words into a search box, just 3 words, mag, mile, future, watch what happens. Hundreds of search results pop up from all different perspectives. A lot of media coverage has happened in the last couple of years of all sorts of exciting, visionary ideas. Not all of them will come to fruition, but many will. And it's up to the people in this room which ones those are going to be. So I'm so excited to be a part of this journey with you. I look forward to the transformative changes, big and small, that we're going to see in the year 2023. And now, this is not on your program, we're calling an audible right here. If my colleague will join me on the stage, we want to pay particular honor to someone who has seen us through good times and bad. As I said, we're calling an audible on the line. And Kimberly is going to bring him up here for a special recognition that he was not aware of tonight. Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Kimberly Bears, the President and CEO. You don't know who I am yet because I haven't been introduced. But we are nothing if not flexible and creative. And we know that Alderman Reilly has to leave. So we're going to flip the order, which only matters to us because none of you know the order. And person X doesn't know this is happening. This was going to happen at the end. But allow me. We have yet another very special guest amongst us. And this person is a former chair of, we'll play this guessing game. This person is a former past board chair, served during the pandemic, all right, that gives it away, was the chair that I worked with when I came in as the president and CEO. Rich Gamble is his name. Rich had the distinction of being the first chair of color at the Magnificent Mile Association. And I want to just take a moment there, not the first African-American chair, the first chair of color. That's a big deal. So he's not only the first chair of color for the association, he served through the pandemic, which, you know, I could joke that he had a full head of hair before that. Not true. But he now has gone on to become the chair of the Chicago Loop Alliance, our sister agency, our sister organization on the other side of the river. He is the first person in the history of these two organizations to ever chair both. And we thought that was worthy of some special love and distinction. So with that, I will now turn it back to our esteemed Alderman.
Rich, congratulations. You've been a real pleasure to work with, and you know, having served in your position here at the Mag Mile Association and your next endeavor down with the Loop Alliance, we're both concerned you're planning on running for alderman. And you'd be a great candidate, by the way. But Alderman Hopkins and I have co-sponsored a resolution congratulating you and thanking you for your incredible service, not just to the Mag Mile, but also to all of downtown Chicago. You're a great partner. I'm looking forward to continue to work with you on your new role at the Loop Alliance. But I know that Alderman Hopkins will want to share a few words as well. We wanted to bring that resolution to you tonight, but we can't get it passed until March 15th. So we'll have to come back and get you a copy. But it is in the works, and once we do have that, we'll be sure that you have a copy for yourself and your family. We'll give one to the Mag Mile Association as well. So congratulations, Rich. It's been a real pleasure. Big round of applause.
The business of government does go on even in these turbulent transitional times, but I have a feeling, Rich, that when Alderman Reilly and I call for the roll call on this resolution honoring you and your success, it may be the only unanimous vote that we have on March 15th at our monthly council meeting. So once again, that's a tribute to you, the relationships that you've built, that you've nurtured, that you've allowed to grow. They make you who you are. They ensure your success in your next endeavor, which really is more of the same, continuing to build upon what we have right now, which is a foundation for a healthy, vibrant downtown Central City. Thank you for all you've done, and thank you for all you're going to do. We appreciate you, Rich Gamble.
I mean, what do I say to that? I love my I love my city. I love the neighborhood I grew up in on the South Side. I love this district. It means a lot to me personally and professionally. I'm really speechless. Just thank you. I appreciate it.
Indulge us for one moment while we grab a photo.
That's a good surprise.
No meeting's complete without a little surprise, right? All right. Alderman, thank you so much, both of you guys. These guys run the two busiest wards in the city, and whenever you call, they call you right back, and that's how stuff gets done, and they're always getting things done. And to honor Rich tonight is an honor in and of itself. Okay, we've got Time Zone 1, Daniel Thomas's group, has got a little sizzle reel here we're going to watch. Here it comes. Okay, thank you to Time Zone 1 for your sponsorship. All right, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul. Welcome, sir. Attorney General Kwame Raoul was sworn in as the 42nd Attorney General of Illinois in January of 2019. Born in Chicago to Haitian immigrants, Raoul brings a lifetime of legal and policy experience, advocacy, and public service to the Office of Attorney General. He has also been a great partner to the Illinois business community, and we are lucky to have worked with him on important legislation that addresses the issues that are critical to keeping our businesses healthy and our district, our city, and our state safe. Ladies and gentlemen, Illinois State's Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
Well, thanks, Dan, and I actually didn't have I wasn't fully in touch with the fact that I was like guest speaker. I thought I was gonna I was gonna drop by like the Alderman did and just say a few words and take off. But it is good to be back together and to have this opportunity. Every time that I'm able to get together in a room with a group of people and actually see their smiles, I don't take it for granted anymore. I tell people there were a lot of things when I first ran for Attorney General that I expected to be challenged with regards to my responsibilities, but there was a lot that I didn't expect to be dealing with in terms of our litigation and protection of workers and so forth, and all connected with the deadly pandemic that we've had to deal with through the years that has impacted our Magnificent Mile, as well as communities throughout the city of Chicago and throughout the state. And so seeing all of you all and seeing your smiles, I don't take for granted. I started my journey as Attorney General as a resident of Hyde Park. I want to acknowledge the County Board President, Tony Pretwinkle, who was my alderman when I started out my relationship with Magnificent Mile Association as a state senator, whose district came down to cover the Magnificent Mile. And I remember, Grant, mere weeks after I was appointed to state senator, participating in the Lights Festival of Lights parade, and I thought to myself, this is cool to represent the Magnificent Mile, the place where people necessarily come to when they visit Chicago. And I've been busy promoting Chicago and the Magnificent Mile, so busy that my colleagues, the Democratic Attorney Generals Association, are coming in May for a policy conference, and I've encouraged them to come a day early and stay a day late and spend a lot of money on the Magnificent Mile. There was one thing that Alderman Reilly said that made me reflect. Obviously a lot of people are talking about crime and violence, and just earlier today I had received a phone call from my chief of staff that, some of my staff members are told to hold in place because there was shots fired at a bank robbery, and it made me reflect about how we have talked about crime and how certain people have talked about crime and how it's been a finger-pointing exercise instead of how do we collaborate to address the problem. And so I've said over the course of the last few years, while the Attorney General's office is a law enforcement agency, it's not like I have a crew of thousands of cops and hundreds of prosecutors. I do not. I can tell you I have about 53 prosecutors and about 23, 24 investigators. I've got to check every day because, people leave for other jobs as well. Yet I never engaged when talking about crime in the finger-pointing blame game. I thought it was my responsibility to point the finger one direction, and that was towards me, and ask myself, what can I do to contribute? Not to suggest that I have the answer, as some do, but how can I make a contribution towards reducing crime? And a few years ago, and we've made our contribution in many ways. I realized that guns are not manufactured or sold in the neighborhoods, sold legally in the neighborhoods where they do the most harm. So I invested in developing what we call Crime Gun Connect, the most state-of-the-art crime gun tracing platform, so we can have evidence, and it could be loaned to law enforcement throughout the state, so we could have evidence on the illegal gun trafficking that takes place. We can't just assume that these guns just grow out of the ground, and young people who are ineligible to have them and others who are ineligible to have them just find them. no, there is an illegal market that we have to confront, and I'm making my contribution as to how to confront that trafficking of guns that is done in part by some who purport to operate as legal gun dealers. That's why I've also proposed to the legislature to allow me to use the consumer fraud statute to hold those who specifically market to young people and to others who do harm with guns. But there's one issue that I've been able to partner with the Magnificent Mile Association that I brought to the attention of the legislature last year, and this was a focus on organized retail crime. And I have to confess, 3 years ago, I didn't know what organized retail crime was. I was actually on a visit, one of the meetings with my fellow attorneys general, and somebody from Home Depot sat down with me and opened up a laptop and showed me a picture of a warehouse with so many tools and so many appliances and so well organized that I thought it was a hardware store, but it was a criminal warehouse. We watched during the protests as folks were coming in and out of stores throughout our city, and certainly on Magnificent Mile. Not all of it was organic. We saw when vans would pull up. And it was because that there are criminal rings that utilize low-level offenders to commit the brazen acts that we've seen on the Magnificent Mile and throughout our city. If you go to Walgreens and various neighborhoods, I always get frustrated because if I need a razor, I got to get an attendant to unlock it's deodorant now too. You can't just walk in and grab a stick of deodorant. And that's all related to organized retail crime. And I've challenged the online marketplaces because it's no longer the flea market, it's no longer the back alley. It's the online marketplaces that make it easy to monetize the proceeds of organized retail crime. So I had a conversation with the Magnificent Mile Association about partnering to speak to our legislature to give me tools to partner with law enforcement partners, because again, I only have 22 or 23 investigators and 53 or so prosecutors, to partner with law enforcement partners throughout the state to take this problem on. Early on, we had some victories partnering with the Chicago Police Department and others. We were able to recover over $2 million of stolen items after we secured search warrants for the storage lockers. We've partnered with Oak Brook Police recently on some sting operations at Oak Brook Mall. We've done so at Gurney Mills as well. The legislature gave us a grant program such that we can fund law enforcement departments that focus specifically on organized retail crime, and we want to focus on the Magnificent Mile as well to do some of what we're doing at Oak Brook and Gurney Mills and down in Carbondale and other places, because it's a problem that affects the entire state, and it's a national problem for that matter. And so I want to thank the Magnificent Mile Association, because it wasn't like a no-brainer, slam dunk effort to try to get the legislation passed, and it took the advocacy of those impacted to get it done. And I want to say this is a beginning, because there's going to be other policy. I mentioned the amendment to the Consumer Fraud Act, that I want to be able to focus on holding rogue gun manufacturers and dealers responsible. There'll be other efforts. But what I'm hopeful for, and the mayor's race was mentioned, and I won't get into the weeds of that right now, but whoever gets elected mayor, I'm hopeful it's not somebody who's pointing the finger anywhere but towards themselves and figuring out how they can work collaboratively in a comprehensive manner, and not suggesting that there's a simple answer, one answer to fighting the crime issue, because there isn't. It's something that's been developed over time because of a variety of reasons, and we need to treat solving it that way. And I'm glad that the Magnificent Mile Association has lent themselves to using their voice for advocacy for policy changes that can truly make a difference, and I think it will make a difference. So I want to thank you.
All right, a huge thank you to Attorney General Kwame Raoul. This is a man who could be doing anything, and he chooses public service, and we are very, very fortunate. Your leadership in addressing safety and security is incredibly appreciated. Thank you, Attorney General. Okay, now the hard part. 2 years ago, almost to this day, in a smaller room right over there, Peter hosted a whopping 35 of us, was it, Peter? Is that what it was? In the room. Hundreds of us, of course, were attending virtually when we were just learning what Zoom meant, right? We started that year with a whopping 2 team members, Kimberly, right here, our CEO, and Willie, our staff accountant. That's it. We had a whopping 1 month of operating revenues in the bank. And the hardest part is we had no idea when we would start to see what we considered normal, right? During those incredibly difficult times when each of us in our businesses faced our own unique set of circumstances, we made a decision to come together to collectively address the challenges facing the Magnificent Mile in our district, pledging our support for the association and working more collaboratively than we felt we had ever done before. Well, look around this room and look at us now. We have a packed room, a full slate of board members, and we are honoring a longtime board member and past chair, Don Verson, in a few minutes here, celebrating our many accomplishments of 2022 and proudly looking forward to a magnificent 2023. We could not have done it without all of your support. I cannot thank you all enough for your faith in our association, your commitment to our work, and for your participation in our initiatives, activities, and projects. You are the reason we do what we do, and I thank you for it. When I became the chair of the board, I outlined 3 goals in my mantra of building back better. They were all pretty obvious. We needed to build back the association, we needed to build back our membership, and we needed to build back this district. I'm proud to say we are well on our way of achieving all 3 of those goals. Our association is on very solid financial footing. We have new partners, new sponsors, and a very diverse funding base now. Our membership ranks are growing after declining in 20 and 21. We anticipate a 20% increase in membership and revenues in 2023 compared to 2022. The district is getting much needed investment through the repaving of Michigan Avenue and the forward momentum of our Project M-Vision, our long-term planning and visioning process that includes improvements to Jane Byrne Park, cafes and restaurants along Michigan Avenue, and an enhanced connection to Oak Street Beach. It's very, very exciting, and we're very excited to continue to share the progress of that important project. On top of all those successes, our charitable foundation, under the leadership of Donna Pugh, where is she? Right there, has made the largest donation in foundation history, $25,000 to the Chicago All-Stars Project, and just last week held a wonderful friend-raising event at the Chicago Tribune Tower Residences. It was just terrific. Thank you, Donna. Of course, front and center in these accomplishments is our dedicated board of directors, our fellow officers, Rich Gamble, Nicole Benolkin, Burnell Goldman, and incoming board chair, Justine. Fedak. This team gives countless hours, and I mean countless, to make sure the association has the tools and resources it needs. At the heart of our association and its success is, of course, our CEO, Kimberly Bears. No one spends more time, is more committed, or loses more sleep over the association matters than her, and you will hear from her later this evening when she presents more about our great work in 2022. I'm fortunate that I get to continue my work with the association. As I step down as the board chair, I will try to fill the very big shoes, of my good friend, Rich Gamble, as I serve as the chair of the nominating committee, and I will be staying very involved with M-Vision, from conception to completion when we put those shovels in the ground. I would also like to take this moment to recognize the timing that the association is welcoming, ushering in a dynamic leadership team, Kimberly Bears, as you know, and Justine Fedak, during International Women's Month. Independent of each other, they are a force. Together, they will truly be unstoppable, leading the association to even greater success. I have one last piece of business to attend before I leave the association chair role, and it is one of the most important and fun parts of this job. For many years, the association chair usually gives out the Chair's Choice Award. The award is personally selected by the chair, and it gives me great pleasure to share that this year's recipient is Don Verson, Sr. Don has served the association in a leadership capacity for nearly 50 years. That's 5-0. His willingness to share his expertise, his time, his talent with those who have followed in his footsteps is known to all of us. Don Verson's work on the Avenue continues to resonate to this day. He continues to inspire all of us as we build on the foundation he and his contemporaries have created. Before Don comes to the stage, I would like to ask my friend Grant DePorter, past association chair, to come up to the stage and help me hand out this award. Grant, please join me.
Thanks, Dan. The Magnificent Mile Association has benefited greatly from past chairs that stay involved. We all learn from the leaders that came before us. Don is the one common denominator that our current chair and all the active past chairs, including me, have learned a lot from. I mean, I could talk about Don forever, but why don't we hear some messages from his fellow members. Denise, can you hit the video?
Hi, Don. As the newest member of the Past Chairman's Club, I want you to know that one of my biggest inspirations for how I hope to contribute going forward is you. Thank you so much for everything you've done on your years of service, and congratulations on this special evening.
Don, when I joined the association at the end of 2019, on my desk was a file folder of information about financial best practices. You helped me from day one, and you've continued to help this association and me and all of our volunteers live out our mission of improving Michigan Avenue. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for everything you've continued to do as a leader of the Magnificent Mile Association.
Congratulations, Don. Legacy of leaders. Definitely the word legacy applies to you. Congratulations on this amazing award. I cannot wait for your guidance, your counsel, and your leadership for the next 2 years.
Don Verson, it seemed like it was just yesterday when I awarded you the Chairman's Award, but yet that was back in 2010. So thank you again for all you do, but most of all, you've been a tremendous, tremendous support to the association, and we are so grateful to have you here with us tonight.
Hi Don, it's Bob and Holly here to say thank you for all those years of great banking advice, and thank you for everything you've done for the association. We wouldn't be here today without you. So congratulations and cheers!
Great job, thank you.
Hi, Don, it's Rich Gamble. Just wanted to tell you that I really respect, admire, and appreciate you. Thank you very much for your kindness, for your intelligence, and for your commitment. You've always been there for me and the association with any questions, insights from your leadership over the years. And it's a great testament to exactly that, you as leader and a great, great human being. Thank you.
Don, we've both been around a long time, have seen many changes in the Avenue and the association. I've enjoyed sharing the experience with you. Thank you for the very able leadership and the insightful advice you've always given. You continue to make a real impact.
Hi Don, it's Marianne.
I just want to thank you so much for everything you've done for the Magnificent Mile Association. You have been a strong supporter, a mentor. There's just no words to describe how valuable your membership has been to this organization. We truly value all the help that you've given us. I don't know what we'd do without you. You are simply the best, and please, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much.
Hi, Don. Your active leadership in this association now exceeds half a century. Your ongoing mentoring and guidance is highly valued. Thank you for your friendship.
Hey, Don, it's your old buddy, Russ Salzman. I'm so proud to be part of this tribute to your many years of service. Hard to believe that 33 years ago, I walked into your office at the bank on Harlem Avenue and applied for the job as the president of the GNMAA. I was proud to serve with you, and I admire your kindness, care, and love for the Mag Mile. It's been great working with you, and I congratulate you on this honor. Hi to all my friends.
Hey Don, congratulations on this great honor. You know, years ago, you recruited Mark Schulman to join the association. Then he recruited me to join the association, so if it wasn't for you, I would not have gotten involved with the Magnificent Mile Association. And if you hadn't gotten Mark involved, there would be no Magnificent Mile Lights Festival today. And also last year, you were critical in getting Wintrust to become our presenting sponsor of the Lights Festival. So Don, I want to salute you. Congratulations.
Don, thank you for introducing me to Magnificent Mile Association in 1990 and our then new director, Russ Salzman. What a great adventure. Thanks to you. I was able to be the founder of the Lights Fest, chairman of the association. You've been a great friend, a banker, and a great Chicagoan. Congrats, Don.
I have been a member of the board of the Magnificent Mile Association since 1985, and one of the first members I interfaced with was with Don Verson. Don welcomed me as a new board member, and he steered me to be active in promoting and protecting the avenue. I so value my relationship with you, Don. We have shared so much over these many years. I couldn't have asked for a better trusted advisor. Thank you again, Don.
Dear Don, thank you for the mentorship and the friendship that you've given me over the years. In the time that I have served as treasurer, your insight has been helpful, illuminating, and entertaining. I am grateful for the leadership and the expertise that you have so freely shared with us. The Mag Mile Association and the district are better for your efforts. Thank you for everything you've done for us, and I wish you the very best.
Don Verson, you are one of my very few mentors going way, way back, 35 years. Thank you for all you did to advance my career. I sure appreciate it.
Congratulations, Don. You have been both a personal and a professional mentor to me over the years. I will always treasure our many walks down the Magnificent Mile during the Lights Festival, and I just can't think of a better person to honor tonight. Congratulations.
Don, you can go right here. You can go wherever you want. But this is for you, sir. We are honored to honor you tonight. Thank you for all of your service to the Magnificent Mile, to the city of Chicago, and to your many friends out here in this room. We appreciate it beyond words.
Nominating me. I appreciate
100%.
it. First of all, I saw all these things behind me, and I was wondering who they're talking about. It's not me. When I first got the call, I was first shocked. I was taken aback. I was humbled, and I was honored. But I have to tell you, I'm not here because of me. I'm here because of all the people that you heard up there and all the people that I've worked with these almost 50 years. I must tell you that any success of any organization depends on the members and the leaders, the volunteers that have come in and have made this organization what it is. I've watched the organization evolve over these past 50 years. And I have to tell you, I've watched the challenge of change that it has gone through. I've listened this evening to our elected officials tell us about change that may be coming, and I would agree with them that I think it's necessary. We are really the agents of those challenges of change. And if the Avenue is going to succeed, if Michigan Avenue is going to become a different avenue, as it has changed over these past 50 years that I've witnessed. Now, I'm a native Chicagoan. I've been here all my life. I've watched Chicago change and evolve. I can only tell you it's evolved because it's changed and we have changed with it. We have to continue to change. Nothing is forever. And we have to meet the challenges of those changes. But we have to be involved. We have to use our skills. We have to use our experiences. We have to get in and volunteer. The man upstairs has been very generous in giving us these opportunities. We have to help others and help them to also achieve. And if we don't work together as a unit, all of us, we're never going to achieve. We have a great city, we have a great avenue, we have a great country, we have great people, but we have to work together. And you are the agents of change. And if it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen with you. Why have I been involved? Because I've been gratefully given an opportunity by the man upstairs. He's given me an opportunity to be able to succeed. I came out of the back of the yards. I started with nothing. But I was given opportunities, and it gave me an opportunity to raise my family, and I'm giving back, and you have to give back. That's part of the change. I retired, but I always say I'm retarded because I'm still working. I'm still volunteering, and I would volunteer until the day I die. I always say there's not enough hours in the day for me. I'd like to have more, because I like to give more. So you people have that opportunity to be agents of change. But I thank you gratefully from my heart for honoring me tonight. But the honor belongs to all of those who helped me to get where I'm at, and all of you. You are the future. You are the leaders of the future. You are the volunteers who are going to make it happen. So continue to be agents of change. Thank you. And Dan, thank you very much for nominating me. Yeah, please. Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you for all your service. We are so grateful for you. Are we doing? Hold on, Don. We're going to do a quick picture. Let's see. We're going to do a quick photo. Justine, you coming? You want to hold it? Or?
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Good to go, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Kimberly Bears, President and CEO of the Magnificent Mile Association.
All right, here we are. Can you tell that we like each other? Can you tell that? I hope you can tell that. I hope you can tell that there is an authentic and genuine warmth and a high esteem that we hold for one another. So I hope that that's evident because it's true. Dan, before you get too comfortable, you want to come up here for a second because, yeah, more's coming. So Dan and I have a little bit of a joke. I very affectionately refer to Dan as the world's most optimistic man. And you've never met a man more positive than Dan Russell. I needed that the last couple of years. There were a lot of times when if I weren't laughing, I would have been crying. So Dan, I want to thank you for that. You heard Dan tonight refer to different people coming up as friend. He means that sincerely. He thinks of all of us as his friends. And I have learned a great deal from him as a person and as a leader. What you also heard is that he has a voice made for radio. I have a face for radio, he has a voice for radio. We make a great team. That's right. And one of the things that Dan joked about a couple of times in his tenure is that our next gig will be co-hosting a radio show. Right. So Dan, I want to let you know that my gift to Dan as his outgoing chair, thanks to Katie Keogh, is a guest appearance on the Let's Go with Katie Keogh show. WLS 890, there we go, it's up on the screen. So Dan, congratulations. You're done. All right, Justine, I have no idea what I'll do for you in 2 years. Just want to put that out there. All right. On a more somber note, even though we've had a lot of fun so far, on a more somber note, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge our partners from the Chicago Police Department and one of their fallen officers, Andres Vasquez Lasso. As you likely know, Officer Vasquez Lasso was fatally shot in the line of duty while responding to a domestic incident on March 1st. This evening, Commander Hine, Commander Harris, Deputy Chief Stevens, along with many of their colleagues who regularly join our annual meeting, are attending services in his honor. Sergeant Shank is here with us tonight, and we thank him for his presence and, of course, for his service. In recognition of this tragic loss and in respect for all of the officers that protect and serve our city, I ask that we take a moment of silence in honor of Officer Andres Vasquez Lasso. Thank you. Before I provide a recap of 2022 and share some thoughts on 23, I'd like to welcome several partners from sister organizations, the City of Chicago and Cook County. I want to give a special Mag Mile welcome to Michael Edwards, President and CEO of the Chicago Loop Alliance, Michael Fosnacht, Chief Marketing Officer for the City of Chicago and President and CEO of World Business Chicago, Adrian Tongate, Executive Vice President of Global Strategic Initiatives, World Business Chicago, Debbie Gershbein, President, and Eileen Murray, Co-President of the Strudeville Organization of Active Residents, Farzan Parang, Executive Director of BOMA, Building Owners and Managers Association of Chicago, Bonnie Sanchez-Carlson, President and Executive Director at Near South Planning Board, and Kimiyo Naka-san. The san is the special honorific that we use in Japanese. Kimiyo is the chair of the Osaka Sister Cities Committee. From the City of Chicago, I'd like to welcome Gia Biaggi, Commissioner of the Department of Transportation, Cindy Rubik, Deputy Commissioner, Department of Planning and Development, Mary O'Connor, Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Planning and Development, and Mark Roshan, Assistant Commissioner at the Department of Planning and Development. And from Cook County, we have Irene Schur from the Bureau of Economic Development. Please help me welcome them tonight. So I'll share a summary of top focus areas and achievements from across the association. The reality, as you have heard, is that the past few years have presented a myriad of challenges, any one of which would have been detrimental on its own. Collectively, a slow return to the office, higher retail vacancy rates, concerns about safety, and rising property taxes have multiplied in their impact. Yet together, we are making progress. Our resilience and responsiveness have resulted in new innovative programs, and we are on course for our brightest future ever. That bright future includes stemming crime in our district, increasing the desirability for property owners to buy and build here, and giving people more reasons to visit the Mag Mile more often. In 2022, the association expanded its role into new areas and recommitted to events that define our district. Specifically, we prioritized safety and security. Maintaining a safe and secure district has become a shared responsibility among state agencies, local law enforcement officials, and our association. As such, our partnerships with the Illinois Attorney General's Office, thank you Kwame, Raoul, and team, and the Chicago Police Department have been essential in addressing crime and bringing perpetrators to justice. In prioritizing safety and security, we know that the addition of Dan O'Shea to our team as Director of Safety and Security will result in more convictions for crimes in our district as he actively participates and represents us in court hearings. As a 25-year veteran of the Chicago Police Department, including serving as commander of our own 18th district here, we already feel the impact Dan is making in corralling public resources and growing communication channels across our members' private security teams. Dan calls this alignment between public law enforcement and our members' private security our force multiplier effect. And I also want to just throw in a joke that Dan may have frisked you on the way in. Thank you, Dan, for the additional, support. Our launch of Special Service Area 76 under the leadership of the 5 commissioners pictured here also contributes to multiplying resources focused on safety and security. In 2022, the SSA put in place a camera rebate program for businesses along the mile and funded the hiring of off-duty and retired officers during the holiday season. In 2023, the SSA will be exploring the addition of bollards to the avenue to improve pedestrian safety and install several pedestrian counters so that we can better understand and plan for foot traffic. I'm excited to share that just last week, with the support of Alderman Hopkins, the association signed a lease to take over the abandoned newsstand at the corner of Michigan and Chicago Avenues. We will use this space to house our ambassadors and serve as a gathering spot for Chicago Police District officers. Overall, we'll leverage that space to greet visitors with helpful, smiling faces who will help people navigate our district and discover all that we have to offer. Could I impose upon the SSA commissioners to stand and be recognized for their work, please? And I would say, if you'd like to play a vital role in what happens on the avenue, and you're a property owner, tenant, or business owner, please see one of us after tonight's event. Hopefully by now, the Ambassador Program has become very familiar to you, and we're pleased to share that the 16-person team will return to the avenue during peak visitor periods. Just as they did from July through December last year, the ambassadors will provide visitors, residents, and workers with a friendly and welcoming presence 7 days a week up and down Michigan Avenue. And finally, as it relates to safety and security, we have set the groundwork for legislation to authorize the City of Chicago and other municipalities to establish business improvement districts, known as BIDs. Illinois is one of only 5 states in the United States that lacks this kind of legislation. Establishing a bid in our district would provide the future financial support we need to continue our safety and security efforts long term. Special thanks to our state senator, Sarah Feigenholtz, for sponsoring Bill 2164 in the Senate, and for our partner in this effort, the Chicago Loop Alliance. We'll be sharing more information on the bid process with members in the coming weeks. If providing a safe and secure district is priority number 1, nearly tied with that is creating exclusive consumer experiences that drive foot traffic and revenue for our member businesses. In 2022, in partnership with World Business Chicago, we assumed lease agreement responsibility, which means we signed leases, and aided in the marketing of 4 unique Michigan Avenue storefronts: the Nordic House, the Argentine Connection, the Chicago Food Stop, and the Kavi Gupta Gallery. Each of these retail locations offered consumers products and experiences that could only be found on the Magnificent Mile, and we filled previously vacant storefronts with vibrant retail experiences. We similarly delighted residents, workers, and visitors with new artwork and sculptures. Staying true to our heritage, our district was adorned with engaging art, including the Wings of Mexico sculpture in the Plaza of the Americas and La Catrina at the corner of Michigan Avenue and Ohio Street. Thank you to John Gagliardo and the Mexican Consulate for the funding and partnership in securing these impressive sculptures. We also secured funding from the City of Chicago to lighten and brighten Lower Michigan Avenue with 3 undercurrent murals from local artists. Undercurrent quickly became our most popular post on social media and is an initiative that we will continue to expand upon in the future. Thank you to Stan Nitzberg and his wife, Vivian, for the inspiration they brought back from their travels to London's Leek Street. And if you haven't been there, I encourage you to go. It is amazing. In 2023, we will continue to focus our efforts on consumer experiences that can only be found on the Magnificent Mile, which include helping our members amplify their own events, from St. Patrick's Day experiences to dinner with a view in Pioneer Court, to tulips along the Magnificent Mile and Mother's Day brunches. We will work together to remind past visitors why they need to return to our district and look to grow share of wallet among frequent visitors, residents, and workers. We will seek out opportunities to add more art and sculptures to the mile and maximize visitor traffic from the NASCAR Chicago Street Race in July. We'll also celebrate the Mag Mile with the city on August 1st, when we close down just a part of the avenue from Wacker to Ohio to host the Chicago Police Department's National Night Out. Finally, in 2022, we again celebrated love of all kinds with our second Weddings at Wrigley and welcomed a new title sponsor, Wintrust, to the Wintrust Magnificent Mile Lights Festival. Weddings at Wrigley was recognized by the International Downtown Association with their Downtown Achievement Award of Excellence for the astonishing improvements made to the urban space. Congratulations also to the Lights Festival Committee for the fantastic day of events and tremendous broadcast reach for the parade. The telecasts of the Wintrust Magnificent Mile Lights Festival aired in 99% of the U.S. I don't know who wasn't watching, but must have been one person. 99% of the U.S. and delivered a 28% increase in household ratings. In addition to Wintrust coming in as the new title sponsor, we welcomed 2 new important presenting sponsors, AT&T and Enjoy Illinois. Let's take a break from me speaking and relive a few moments of that joyous day.
Wintrust is so proud to partner with the Wintrust Magnificent Mile Lights Festival because it's such an iconic event in the city of Chicago, and we feel fantastic being partners in this wonderful weekend.
Be here for this very iconic parade and to be back together after several years of being so distant, there's just nothing more magical about it.
Just such a tradition for locals and everyone across the nation, and it really is the kickoff to the holiday season.
Congratulations to everyone that worked on the festival last year. And yes, it's coming back again this year. If you'd like to be part of the magic, just see one of us after tonight. Okay, I shared with you the key areas where we need to make an impact, from improving safety and security so that we are a more inviting district, to offering more unique experiences that delight people and fill vacant storefronts, if even just temporarily, to adding more visual interest to the avenue with art and sculptures, maintaining our heritage with new pillar events like Weddings at Wrigley and the long-established and beloved Wintrust Magnificent Mile Lights Festival. We have a lot to look forward to as an association. The last topic I'd like to address tonight is our growing excitement for the future by discussing our progress with M-Vision. As you know, and as Dan mentioned, M-Vision is a long-range planning framework for the evolution of Michigan Avenue, based on insights we have gathered from an Urban Land Institute study we commissioned, paid for, gratefully, by the City of Chicago. Based on the needs and desires for advancements in place, people, experience, infrastructure, and technology that were identified in the study, we've developed a series of renderings, and you have in front of you one of those renderings here. It showcases how we might open our sidewalks to create more space along the avenue. Our M-Vision discussions among members and with other organizations invested in our future success are accelerating, and we are committed to finding a path forward and delivering the reimagined Magnificent Mile our members and the City of Chicago need. As everyone should realize, I do this work not alone, but with great help and support and expertise of a terrific team of professionals. I'd like to ask my team to stand now so that they can be recognized. Folks. All right, that concludes my portion of the evening. I will now turn it over to Rich Gamble for the business portion of the meeting. I had some remarks, but I've already made them. So, Rich, the floor is yours.
All right, Kimberly, you got me. I never met a microphone that I didn't enjoy, but I'm not going to go too far off script. Just want to say thank you again, and I want to ask all of our past chairs, Don, let's hear it for Don Verson again. I'd like to ask all of our past chairs who are here, there are 14 of them that are active. Would you please stand? Rick, Simon, Dan, Peter, Grant, Ralph. All right. Thank you. Thank you all. I was caught off guard because when you serve, you do it not because you want attention. You do it because you believe in an organization or you believe in the change that you feel that you can make. You want to make a positive contribution. And I've been fortunate enough to do that in an interesting time in the city's life. So anyway, I just say thank you again for that. First, I'd like to thank you, Dan, for navigating these unique times on our behalf. It's been a pleasure to serve alongside you, the eternal optimist. I'd also like to recognize the nominating committee for their hard work. The committee is very thoughtful in this process and the needs of the association. Here's our nominating committee, half past board chairs and half directors on the board at large. We're proud to introduce and induct 13 new board members and 2 new members of the executive committee. These are the 13 new board members, and the 2 new members of the executive committee are Ted Salogi, GM of the Swiss Hotel, and Clay Spencer, GM of the Fairmont. These new leaders will build on the association's legacy as they serve with us and those that came before us. We look forward to their new energy, ideas, and excitement in leading the Magnificent Mile Association. We're also very excited to welcome our incoming chair, Justine. Now, in accordance with our bylaws, we would like to call the annual meeting of membership to order. Membership is composed of individuals from businesses and organizations that are members in good standing. The membership will now vote on the board of directors. Once approved, the directors will serve a 2-year term. First, we will elect members of the board of directors for a 2-year term expiring in 2025. They are included in the slate of officers offered by the nominating committee you received by email 10 days ago, and may also be found in your program on page 6. These members also include current board members who are renewing for another 2-year term. Association members in good standing are requested to vote. Do I hear a motion to elect these directors? Second. All in favor? Thank you. We'd also like to recognize directors that are at the midway point of their 2-year terms, which expire in 2024. They're also listed in your programs on page 7. The annual meeting of membership is now closed. I'd like to open the annual meeting of the Board of Directors. The members of the Board of Directors are requested to approve the election of the Magnificent Mile Association's 2023 Executive Committee and officers as listed in your program on pages 4 and 5. Justine Fedak is nominated to serve as chair of the board. Nicole Benokin will continue to serve as treasurer. Burnell Goldman is nominated to serve as secretary, and Eric Fogel will continue as our legal counsel. Do I hear a motion by the newly elected board of members to elect the executive committee and officers? Second? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Approved. Would all the Magnificent Mile Association board members, whether elected tonight or in the middle of your 2-year terms, foundation officers and association officers and executive committees members, please stand and be recognized. It's like the whole room. Congratulations to all of you, especially Justine. Before you take the helm, Justine, allow me to share a few words. This association has always had the right volunteer leader at the right time, and this is no exception. Justine is a committed member of the communities and the industries she serves. She's a founding board member of the Chicago Police Foundation. She serves as an SSA commissioner for SSA number 16 in Greektown, a chair of the Chicago-Toronto Sister Cities for World Business Chicago, as well as a member of many other prominent boards in Canada and the US. Her vast knowledge of marketing, DEI, and community building will serve us well. Here's just a quick video to get to know our newly elected chair.
All the world's waiting for you and the power you possess. In your satin tights, fighting for your rights and your red, white, and blue. Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. Now the world is ready for you. And the wonders you can do. You're a Wonder Woman.
That's awesome. She really is Wonder Woman. And, you know, Justine and I joked one of our favorite cartoons from our days growing up is Wonder Twins. So with me as the new board chair of the Loop Alliance and you as the board chair here, Wonder Twin powers activate. Congratulations, Justine. Look forward to seeing what you have in store for us. You and Kimberly are going to make a fantastic team. Madam Chair, members of the association, your board has been elected. Thank you.
so much. I'm switching things up and using this microphone, so I'm sure in the back you're wondering why I'm doing it. First of all, thank you. I humbly accept this honor. And I do have remarks, but I do also know that I'm standing between all of us and the cocktails, and a devoted skinny margarita drinker myself. I know that we're all waiting for that. But first of all, let me formally say a few words, and I'd like to start off first saying thank you, Dan, thank you, Kimberly, thank you, Rich, all of the officers I serve with. I know we've done a lot of thank yous, but I think there's something very special about today, and that's you, Dawn, because you said the words that really mean absolutely everything to all of us. And when you talk about being a volunteer and giving back, you are truly the legacy that we lead toward. And there's something really special that I just wanted to share with everybody that you've sort of heard, but it is our theme. Kimberly and I have talked a lot about alignment. Kimberly and I have talked a lot about alignment. And the one thing that everybody has talked about here is how, and Dawn shared this, is how everybody gives to the next person. And I can tell you 100% that as the incoming chair at a time like we've been talking about, I have been met with such love, such guidance, such mentorship, that it's unbelievable. And it's that kind of support that makes Chicago the very best city in the world. I love this city. I was born in Canada, so I'm Canadian by birth, American by choice. And I'm a Chicagoan until the day I take my last breath. I love this city, and what I love about it is the people here that give like Dawn. So Dawn, you talked about the things that were important to you, and then you passed that on to Grant. And I'm looking at Grant, and Grant, thank you, because you have been a huge mentor to me. You've walked me up and down the mile. You've called me, you've shared your wisdom with me and your enthusiasm, and I cannot wait to serve as your chair and continue to learn from you. Rick Simon, thank you so much. You're always there for me. You always take my calls and answer all my questions and give me guidance and leadership. Peter, thank you for spending the time with me. Donna, thank you for everything you're doing in your leadership. Holly's not here, but Holly sent me a picture frame. This just tells you the kind of fabric of the people. She sent me a picture frame and a card and said, for all your special memories, here's a picture frame because in 2 years, you'll need more than just this one. That's incredibly meaningful. Ralph, thank you for chairing the bylaws committee and for your mentorship and leadership. Dawn's already taking me for lunch soon, so I just want you to know he's not stopping. He's still passing on everything. So what does legacy really mean? It is something that's passed on. And tonight, Rich and Dan and Kimberly and others are passing on their belief that we're going to do all this together. I am the chair, but it's the board that makes it strong. We're volunteers. I want to thank our office. They work very hard. They're in a new space. They had to move in the midst of all this. They had no phones and things weren't working, and they continued to work tirelessly. And Kimberly and I are already very bonded. We speak very freely to each other. We agree to disagree on things. We agree to really agree on things. And the one thing we really agreed on tonight was that we're both wearing Maria Pinto. So Maria, thank you for thank you for helping us look good and feel good. But again, it's that kind of support for one another, deep friendship, that's going to make our city great again. And Rich is right. We've got a corridor now, so we're Wonder Twins, and we're going to take this to heart. So I want to also acknowledge that my focus will be membership. All of you are here tonight. Many of you may not be members. If you're not, please consider membership. If you know people that you think would benefit, you don't have to be on the mile to be a member. You have to be invested in the community. You have to be invested in Michigan Avenue. And that's all of us. This avenue touches all of us in some way, so I encourage you. And Gabriel and I had lunch today, and we were talking about the mission, so there are great things to look forward to. You'll be hearing from him about all of the wonderful things going on from the membership committee. Our mentorship committee, thank you. Our emerging leaders committee, Susan Hayes-Gordon, Lori, Laura, Antoinette. Amazing stuff going on. We're actually pairing people to mentor people, also in that spirit of giving back. And that's what this is. So I just want to thank everyone, because volunteering in today's world, and many people have said, gosh, I don't know how I'm going to fit it in. I don't know what I'm going to do. And there's been so many people that have taken that time. Jackie, thank you. You took the time to have lunch with me and really give me your insight, points of view, different points of view. We should feel free to disagree, but then we have to come together, because the strength is in us all leading the same way. So I want to thank everyone for being part of this family. We're a very functional, dysfunctional family like all families, but we love and care about one another. And it's all of you here tonight volunteering your time and sharing that's going to make everything much stronger. And I look forward to learning from all of you, hearing from all of you. Please share your thoughts and your ideas. None of us have the one idea that's going to solve this, but together we will. Bob, Dion, that is the funniest video. I do want to do this, but I seem to be still wearing Maria Pinto, so I can't be that upset. So I think Dan and Kimberly, if you want to come up. I know that we're at the part now of the program where we're coming to the end. It's almost the cocktail hour. So I want to thank you for your partnership and for your leadership, and I very much look forward to us all being together. It is an absolute honor to accept this, so thank you. Thank you to all those on the nominating committee for your support. I will live up to your expectations with your mentorship and leadership and guidance. Cheers. We're drinking a little sooner than everyone. So, in the spirit of a champagne toast, not to be forgotten, the gala's coming up, so the annual meeting is now almost officially over. I'm going to use this as a gavel in a minute and conclude, but it's time to buy your gala tables and think about that. Thank you to everyone who sponsored tonight. I believe we hit record goals, isn't that right?
We did. We raised more in sponsorship than we have ever raised before, so thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And now I'm looking at you, Grant, because you do the best when we call for a motion to conclude. All right, let's go and sign up for gala tables and have some fun. Thank you, everyone.